Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to The Walk. It is Monday, July 1st. It's hard to believe we've already made it to July. We are continuing our study of Matthew 24 and end times prophecy. We will be talking about end times prophecy and the way we should be responding to that as we continue on through our week. Be praying. I'm not sure what next week's topic is, but I've got a lot of ideas jumping around in my head. So we have made it through the abomination of desolation, and that was in Matthew 24, verses 15 through 28. We are up to Matthew 29. And this is where it talks about the coming of the Son of Man. Now, as you read this, you really want to think about the disciples' perspective. Here they are, they have chosen to follow Jesus as he goes through these as he goes through his ministry, and they're going from town to town. They're not really, they didn't pack a bag or anything like that. They're kind of just living as God provides. And Jesus is telling them all these things about these end times. And as I imagine what it would have been like to be sitting there and be one of those disciples, I'm sure it was very difficult for them to wrap their head around the things that Jesus was saying. Later on, they understood it much better, but I'm sure that as Jesus talked about this, it was very difficult to understand. So in Matthew 24:29, it says, "Immediately after the tribulation of those days, the sun will be darkened, and the moon will not give its light, and the stars will fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken." There's a lot there. Okay, what's going to be happening here? The sun's going to darken, the moon will not give its light, the stars are going to fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens will be shaken. Right there is the number 4. The number 4 points to the seasons. It also means the door. Jesus is the door. This is the entrance of Jesus Christ coming back. And it is going to be, I would imagine that it would be very frightening to see all that, to see the sun darken, the moon not giving its light. Verse 30. "Then will appear in heaven the sign of the Son of Man, and then all the tribes of the earth will mourn, and they will see the Son of Man coming on the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. And he will send out his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they will gather his elect from the 4 winds, from one end of heaven to the other." All right, so stop and think this through. We just read last week that people are going to be saying, "Oh, there's Jesus Christ, there's Jesus Christ, there's Jesus Christ." And I told you, it is going to be abundantly obvious. You're not going to be going, maybe that's him, maybe that isn't. It is going to be clear to both unbelievers and believers. How is it going to be so clear? Well, look at the things that are happening. There's no light. The powers of the heavens have been shaken. He's coming on the clouds of heaven with power and glory. All of the tribes of the earth are in mourning, and he's sending his angels with a loud trumpet call, and they're gathering the elect. The believers, the followers of Jesus Christ, are being gathered. That's talking about the rapture. You aren't going to miss this. There's no way you're going to miss his second coming. It's going to be very obvious. And then we get to the lesson from the fig tree. "From the fig tree, learn its lesson. As soon as its branch becomes tender and puts out its leaves, you know that summer is near. So also, when you see these things, you know that he is near at the very gates. Truly I say to you, this generation will not pass away until all these things take place. Heaven and earth will pass away, but my words will not pass away." So we need to be watching for these signs. We need to be aware of these signs. And when somebody says, hey, the Christ is out in New Jersey, we got to go out to New Jersey. And you're saying, well, wait a minute. How did I not know that the Christ had come? If you don't know that he came, It's not him. Don't fall for it and be mindful of it. We're going to talk more about those false teachings and false prophets later this week. Have a wonderful day. God bless, and keep walking the walk.